What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Monday with a nice 8-game slate here tonight. I got it broken down for you with 6 of my favorite plays on the slate, my money 6. So before we get going, be sure to slap that like button. It really helps me out. Great amount of support from that, so thank you so much. We'll try to get over 100 likes in this one. And yeah, let's just hop into it. First guy up, not much to it, James Harden. He just is putting up a million shots per game. His usage rate is absolutely crazy. 35, 32 shots the last 2 games. His assist percentage has been crazy. 15 and 13, 2 out of the last 3. Huge upside. You really struggled against the Portland Trailblazers. But that was on the road. The Trailblazers can play some good defense against guards. This matchup isn't anything special, but I think it's going to be pretty high scoring, pretty damn close. I think Harden can have a little bit better of a game. He was pretty solid against them earlier in the year. 7 for 16, not too bad. 22 points. That was with Chris Paul as well. He did get an 11 assist game, which is really solid. And he's been playing a lot better at home, too. His shooting percentage is up a good amount. Almost 5 DraftKings points more in average. So I think he can have another one of those huge games at home. He's just been on a tear. He's trying to go for the MVP. He's like talking himself into it every single day. And I think he can easily get over 60 DraftKings points in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. And then I'm going to go with Mike Conley, another guard here at 7,500. It has an uptick in the pace of this game. I mean, New Orleans plays at a very fast pace, and that can definitely help out the point guard. And also a really solid spot against Elfrid Payton, who does really struggle defensively. He's coming off a big game against the Brooklyn Nets. Played very well against the Spurs as well. They did get blown out, but he played well in 25 minutes. Shot very well. And he did struggle the one game against New Orleans. But the thing is that Elfrid Payton wasn't playing in that game. So they probably had Jrue Holiday covering Conley more than he'll see in this game. Meaning that he'll have a better matchup, like I mentioned, against Elfrid Payton. A really solid spot. And like I said, that pace uptick can be really good for a guy like Mike Conley, who runs the show offensively at the point guard spot. And he's had some big games. I mean, he has 40-plus upside if he is hitting his shot. At 7,500, I like the price tag. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then I'm going to go with Spencer Dinwiddie, another guard here at 5,800. I just saw the news that Joe Harris and DeMarre Carroll are going to be out for this game. So that frees up a lot of minutes. Dinwiddie has been getting lesser run recently, only 26, 27, like around 25 minutes a game. But like prior to that, he was getting around 30 minutes a game and playing very well with those minutes. So this is a guy, when he's on the court more, he typically gets more DraftKings points. I mean, there's not much to it, but he's really involved in the offense. He has a usage rate around 25%. It's really solid for a guy at his price tag at 5,800. And he's probably going to be getting more run. I would imagine he would get the start here at like the point guard, and then D'Angelo Russell would go to shooting guard. And that's how I would imagine they would do it. I mean, they're going to be really thin without those two guys because DeMarre Carroll has pretty much been like the starting small forward recently off the bench. And also Joe Harris has been getting some solid run, and they're down with down Allen Crabbe as well. So Dinwiddie, he's like one of their few remaining shooting guards available in this team, or just guards in general. So I would imagine they start him at point guard, and he gets around 30 minutes in this game. There is that question mark that it could be a blowout. I mean, the Nets are so short-handed and going against a solid Celtics team. I think Dinwiddie could keep this close enough. The Celtics kind of play down to their competition and a lot of games, so I could see it staying close enough. And I think Dinwiddie will be the leading force here. He has a solid matchup. Going against the point guard position, that's really been the best spot to attack the Celtics along with center. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in Dinwiddie there. I think he can get over 30 DraftKings points. Then I'm going to go with Bogdanovic, another guy that entered the starting 5 last game. With Shumpert being out, he had a good solid minute load at 3,500. Wasn't able to hit a shot, but that was kind of a tough matchup going against the Warriors. They can play some solid defense, but this is a really softer matchup going against the Magic. Their defense is not great, and Bogdanovic's fantasy points per minute has been really good, around 1 per minute. So if you multiply that out by him possibly getting 35 minutes again in this game, then he can easily get around 35 DraftKings points. A really solid value of 5,300. For whatever reason, his price went down, even though he entered the starting lineup, and he's just really involved. Besides his game against the Nuggets, for whatever reason, he only put up 9 shots. but he's been throwing up a lot of like double-digit shot attempts in these games. Really solid matchup, like I said. The Magic struggle against three-point shooters. That's most of Bogdanovic's shots around the three-point line. And he's a solid rebounder as well. Like with him starting at the small forward, he can definitely get some more rebounds. And he's a pretty solid passer with his assists, so he can fill it up in those extra minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my fourth guy. Then I'm going to go with Derrick White. He's been quietly beasting out recently. For the Spurs lineup, like he's been super efficient, like 8 for 9, 8 for 11, and 8 for 9 the last 3 games. So he's playing insane. Pop can be a little bit all over the place with his minutes, but with how well Derrick White has been playing, I can't imagine Pop like benching him in this game and have him not get around 30 minutes just because he's been playing so good. And also there was news that Rudy Gay will be out for this game, so that means that Derrick White could see a few more shots here in this game. I mean, they'll have probably Jacob Poto, however you say his name, the center for the Spurs, step into that starting lineup. He's not very involved offensively. I think Derrick White will kind of step up as that third option behind Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. Kind of Rudy Gay was pretty much that third option with him in the starting lineup. So White will go from like being like the fourth option behind Rudy Gay to the third option. So some more possible upside there. And he has probably the best matchup in the court, honestly. The Detroit Pistons, they do struggle a lot against point guards. Reggie Jackson is not great defensively. And they do have some solid bigs with Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin who can play some defense. So I think Derrick White could have a quietly another good game here, get around 30 DraftKings points. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my fifth guy. And like I mentioned, with how thin the Nets are, I think KURUCS could get easily around 30 minutes of this game. I mean, he hasn't been playing well recently. He has been getting lots of minutes, though, with DeMar DeRozan stepping in and playing really well. But KURUCS really struggling. But he does have that upside. I mean, we saw it when he was getting around 30 minutes. He had 33, 34, and 41 DraftKings points in the 3 games. Were he to get over 30 minutes, it's definitely not an easy matchup. But he does have that rebound ability with him being pretty lanky and pretty just big and athletic at the small forward position. So I could see him getting around like, honestly, 6 or 7 rebounds in this game. It's just a matter of fact if he can hit a few shots to add to that value. So at 3,500, doesn't need to do too much. But if he can just hit a few shots, like I said, I think he can have a really solid value game at 3,500. I mean, the minutes should be there. They're so thin at small forward and just like that kind of 3/2 position where he's going to have to play. I mean, they have Hollis Jefferson out as well, so they're very banged up. KURUCS got to step up here. Make me look smart. I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. So that is it for the Money 6. You got James Harden, Spencer Dinwiddie, Bogdanovic, KURUCS, Mike Conley, and Derrick White. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Slap a like in the video if you did. Like I said, over 100 likes would be amazing. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you haven't already to continue to get these NBA DraftKings picks every single day. You can comment any questions you have down below on the YouTube video. Follow me on Twitter if I update any of these plays. If someone is out or if there's more value opening up, I'll tweet out about that. So good luck and win some money. We'll see you back here again next time.